Greetings. This is Justin Allen with the Elite Nurse Practitioner. Welcome to the Elite Nurse Practitioner Show, podcast dedicated to nurse practitioner entrepreneurism and achieving financial freedom, where I talk directly with nurse practitioners who need help. Listen up, our market is saturated. Jobs can be scarce. We are underpaid. We are undervalued. We are taken advantage of by the sharks within the healthcare system, and frankly, screw that. I'm sick of it, and it's time for a change. And listen, I'm here to help make that happen. We are powerful. We can forge a path where we are in control of our career and ultimately our financial and personal well-being. You do not need to submit to healthcare administrators and your doctor overlords. You do not have to take a measly salary. You do not have to work 50 to 60 hours a week. There is a different way, and I'm here to show you that path. This podcast is raw and unfiltered. I have not talked to the nurse practitioners in this podcast prior to the call outside of an email exchange to schedule the episode. What you're about to listen to is a consultation session between a nurse practitioner and myself. It is real, it is unscripted, it is unplanned, and I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Anything and everything can happen during our conversation. The nurse practitioners in these episodes are struggling with an issue in their professional or financial life, and they have reached out to me for help. My goal is to help the nurse practitioner with actionable advice that will enhance and improve their professional, business, and financial life. My other goal is to hopefully help my nurse practitioner sisters and brothers build a more productive, powerful, and free life. So I hope the content and information within these podcast episodes does just that. All right, onto the episode. Hello, everyone. Today we'll be talking to Kate, who is a family nurse practitioner. She is currently working at a bariatric medicine practice and has been there for 15 years. She recently started a telemedicine weight loss practice that is going okay, as she has only been seeing patients for a couple weeks. She's needing help with marketing, liability insurance considerations, and how to operate and grow her practice effectively. Hey, Kate, how are you?
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Good. Thanks for hopping on here. So, bring us up to speed with where you're at. So, it looks like you've been working basically in weight loss for over a decade now, and you started your own thing. So, tell us how you got here.
Yeah, I've been working bariatric medicine for 15 years now, and saw a need for weight loss medication and knew that I probably wasn't going to get paid anymore at my job to do that. So I just decided to start a telemedicine practice for weight loss medications as kind of my niche right now. And I also have a sidearm where I'm working on naltrexone therapy for patients who have alcohol use disorder. So I kind of have two arms going there, but my weight loss one is my primary so far.
Gotcha. Okay. So you've been working at a bariatric practice for 15 years. So what made you open up your own little side gig for weight loss?
Well, supervising weight loss medication takes a lot of management and follow-up, and there's a behavioral component with those. So I just realized that in my job, I probably wasn't going to get paid anymore to take that on, even though there's a need. So I decided to just do a telemedicine type of practice to get that going for patients outside of the bariatric practice. I also do prescribe it within my work practice, but yeah, just outside for people who want to lose weight. And with all the new injectables out there, I think there's pretty compelling results out there.
Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah. Semaglutide's awesome. I mean, it works great.
It is.
So are you getting patients from your work practice? Is there like a non-compete thing you got to worry about here? Or is it kind of everyone's cool with what you're doing?
No, there is no not compete. And as far as, it's basically right now been word of mouth. I've started an Instagram and Facebook account, but it's been word of mouth. There are some insurance carriers that aren't covering the medication. So that's been kind of a challenge there. But so far, it's just kind of been one person telling another and another. Hospital employees, a couple of doctors that I work with have come this week and said they were interested in that, coming on board with me and getting some weight loss medications. But it is the Wild West out there. Everyone wants to do this, medical spas, so yeah, it's definitely something that a lot of people are wanting to do right now. And I did not realize how much until I got into this. So,
right. Okay. Yeah, just be careful with the whole non-compete thing. You're not referring patients from the bariatric practice to yourself and that kind of a thing. So just be be cautious there. If they find you, then they find you. That's fine, but you just can't, tell them to come see you. Yeah, so just be cautious.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
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 That is something I've definitely thought about. And yeah, years ago when I started, there was no do not compete. But yeah, that's something that I try to keep separate. A lot of times it's friends, or so far friends of my husband's, or friends of, and then just coworkers, that have
Sure.
come up. Yeah. As far as patients, that is a little bit of a fine line there. So,
Sure. Yeah, I remember when I was working at the urgent care,
uh huh.
and I remember like patients would say, I'm real fatigued, and complains of like hypogonadal symptoms, that kind of stuff. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, there's a men's health clinic in town. You can go check them out. They might be able to help you out. Just Google it. I'm not telling
Good.
them to see me. Just Google
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That is a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're
Right.
not referring them to you. You just tell them what to look for.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just kind of keep that in mind. So are you advertising this so far just very locally, or how have you gotten these patients so far?
Yes, yes, locally, and like I said, it's been mostly word of mouth. But now I'm thinking, I have set up a separate Instagram and Facebook post, but so far, like I'll boost the post to get a little more traffic, but then it's always like, who are these people on here that are actually liking my post? I don't know. I'm licensed in Kansas right now, and it's telemedicine only. So I wish we had a compact agreement, man, like where we could have licensure in multiple states that were in the
Yeah.
same agreement. But I think there's only just two, Utah and maybe North Dakota, that are progressive enough to have that yet. So anyway, but right now I'm just licensed in Kansas, and so I'm sure I'll need to look at some licensure in other states at some point soon. Too.
Well,
I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I guess how much time do you want to put into this?
I don't know. I would like to have it grow to where, because right now I'm working part time within the bariatric practice,
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And so Thursday, Friday, I'm here. And so I'd like to at least put in a couple days a week to it, maybe
Okay.
more at some point, just for some supplemental income is kind of what I'm wanting,
Sure.
just something aside from my day to day job that I can kind of have for, emergency money or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think you need to complicate this more right now. I mean, you're set up in Kansas, you got it all going. So, like, just try to maximize what you got right now. So, you remember, you don't need thousands and thousands of patients here. You only need 100, if that, to have a
Sure.
pretty profitable little side gig. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
You could probably get 100 people in your county alone.
That's what, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
right. So I don't think you
Okay.
need to overcomplicate it right now and be in a
Okay.
bunch of states. Yeah. I would stay a little more local. My second men's health practice is a very regional kind of a thing. We have a physical office and that kind of stuff, but almost
Okay.
100% of the visits are done telemedicine. But
Oh,
it's
okay.
just for that area though.
Yeah.
Like the nurse practitioner that I employ there, she lives in another state.
Okay. That's interesting. Even though you have an office, that's interesting. You do most of them by telemed. That's just kind
Almost
of the
all of it's
way.
telemedicine. Right, exactly, in that kinda
Yeah.
local area there, yeah. So I think you could probably keep this as simple as possible and try
Okay.
to just maximize your local area. Do you live in a
Okay.
pretty densely populated area? What's your kinda like the demographics look like?
Yeah. Wichita. And like I said, I haven't made real serious efforts yet, but that's what I'm fixing to do now. It's good that you've had telemedicine practice experience. So yeah, that's good to know not to overcomplicate things, because I tend
Don't.
to overthink.
Yeah, most nurse practitioners do, so don't worry about that. It's just kind of part of it, yeah. So anyways, though, yeah, I say keep this local.
Okay.
You'll probably do well. You really probably need to have a Google business listing. People are gonna be looking for this. Okay.
Oh,
People are
yeah.
looking for weight loss. They're looking
Mm.
for semaglutide. They're looking for this stuff. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So make it as easy as possible for them to find you. And most people are going online to look up stuff. I mean, they just are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can have a Google business listing, you'll just end up getting patients essentially from that alone. The
Yeah.
problem is usually have to have a like a physical location for that.
Okay.
So that increases expenses and increases, the
Yeah.
complexity of it, not by much, but it does. But if you can find a very, very cheap office space somewhere that has an address attached to it,
Okay.
you might be able to find like a small office for 300 to $500 a month
Okay.
that has its own associated address.
Okay.
And if it does, then you can just attach your Google business listing to that address. And now you're local. Now people can find you. And then on the Google business name, you could put something as obvious as weight loss treatment from home. Make it
Okay.
as obvious as possible. That people are like, oh, I don't even have to go in. Cool. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. That's what I would do. And then you kind of just stay local. Think of the office as more or less a part of your marketing expenses.
Interesting. Okay.
Right. So instead of spending $500 a month on Facebook ads, if you spend
Okay.
$500 a month on a little small office, I guarantee you'll probably end up getting more patient conversions off that $500 a month office space because you have a Google business listing than you would on $500 on Facebook ads.
Okay.
Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Okay. That's
So
good to know. I have a website, but I know that they were helping me do like a Google crawl to kind of get myself precedence on the internet. But everyone's wanting that, and so there's a lot of other weight loss places that are popping up before me at this time. So I'm working on that. But that's good to know about the office space. So
yeah, I think that's probably gonna be your best bet if you don't want to complicate this much. And I don't think you need to. Do you have a lot of competition in your area for this stuff? Do you know?
So I'm glad you asked that because here's what I'm finding. I meet with the Wegovy reps pretty much weekly. They want to know kind of how things are going, and also the Manjaro reps. But anyhow, I'm finding that all these medical spas in town, some of these doctors that have been working in family practice, they start these little medical spas with like Botox and all this. They've incorporated weight loss. Well, here's the thing. A lot of patients, there's some patients that can't afford or their insurance doesn't cover some of these injectables. So they're offering semaglutide, which is compounded for $400 a month. They can go to a compounding pharmacy, but the reps are really kind of upset about that because that's not their molecule. It's not the Wegovy molecule, even though they say semaglutides. These pharmacists are mixing it with B12 and so forth. So that is really advised against when you talk to people because there's no FDA.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to put a pause on this real quick. So,
Yeah.
okay, first off, that's how you make money in a cash practice. There is absolutely nothing wrong with getting semaglutide from a compounding pharmacy, okay? They're FDA controlled facilities. They have to get licensure to do what they're doing. They can't just make shit up and call it semaglutide. They attach B12 and stuff to it to get around the patents so they can actually sell it.
Oh, yeah.
The reps are going to tell you that because they don't want people doing that because it decreases their money. Like, decreases their profits.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
keep that in mind. Like, what's their incentive to tell you that? Okay. Everyone has their own incentives on stuff. They have priorities. Yeah. Don't worry too much about that. I wouldn't. That's how you make money in a cash-based practice. It's hard to make a decent profit by just giving them a prescription and having them go fill it at Walgreens or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to make a profit doing that. Have you took our weight loss course?
No.
All right. Yeah, you might want to take the weight loss course. I mean, I go over how to do all this. Like, if you're not following a true cash-based practice model, you are leaving so much money on the table. Okay.
Interesting. Okay. Because I've heard about this, and the reps are like, "This is not our molecule," and I understand that, and they've been good, they've been helpful. But I'm seeing all these medical spas are doing semaglutide, and my patients are like, "I don't have any money for this. I got to go to this compounding pharmacy. It's what I can do." And so I'm like, I am losing freaking patients here. Anyway.
Insurance isn't going to pay for a lot of this stuff. And then when they go to the pharmacy, it's like $1,000, $1,200. It's ridiculous.
So calling the compounding pharmacies and kind of talking with them and having a conversation with them would be probably, that might be.
Exactly. Yeah. You create an account with them and you do it that way. I'm telling you, take the course, follow the processes on how to do this so you can increase your bottom line. Now, if the semaglutide from the compounding pharmacies were, if it was bullshit, I wouldn't be seeing patients losing weight. Whatever they put in, it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been looking on a little bit on this, and some endocrinologists and obesity doctors are like, this is just not, we just don't know about this semaglutide. We don't know if it's going to harm people. And then what? And so I'm like, gosh, should I not, but, good point. Yeah.
Okay. So that takes us to the next point here. How are you making money in your practice? How did you set this thing up?
Okay. So I am charging so far. What I've done is I've kind of looked to see what other telemedicine practices with nurse practitioners within them charge for consultations, various things. So I charge a base price online for an initial weight loss consultation or alcohol use disorder consultation for naltrexone. And then, there's a monthly follow-up visit. The price is different for follow-up visits, but then the medicine they can obviously get with their prescription insurance, but I'm just doing cash right now. And right now I'm trying to figure out how to accept that online.
Okay,
Anyway.
So how much are you charging for the visit then? Because that's where you're making your money.
Right. So the consultation is $195.
Okay. And then the follow-ups are
110 is what I have them priced at right now.
And you're seeing them how often?
Well, I'm seeing the follow-ups at 2 weeks after they start the medication, and then monthly for a couple of months. And then when they're on the 90 days, possibly when they're on the max dose.
I gotcha.
I
I
have,
mean, that's not that bad. I mean, you're making money. That's not terrible. I mean,
right.
you're making a profit. You can
It's
make
not
more.
okay. Because I don't want people to think, oh, that's too much. I didn't know where. I wasn't sure how to price that because I looked at what others had done, but I'm like, am I too expensive for people or am
No.
I?
Okay, so this is what I would do if I was you.
Uh-huh.
Do the compounding pharmacy route as an option.
Okay.
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 Have that as an option, basically,
Okay.
where the medication's included in like your price. So you would basically charge this on a monthly basis, subscription membership kind of model. Okay.
Okay.
You take the course, I explain it. I'm not going to sit here and talk for
Yeah.
20
Tell
minutes.
me,
on how to do that.
how do I find that? Or
Just go to elitenp.com and you
okay.
click on courses at the top. It's right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you get continuing education credits from it as well. You get, all the information, the consent forms, you get everything. So you need to either have like a membership subscription-based program that the medication is included in. Visits, the medication, the supplies, everything's included in that price.
Okay, like maybe two or three follow-up visits within that.
No, you just charge it monthly and then you do the follow-ups however you see fit.
Oh, so
Okay.
a monthly membership. I see. Okay, yeah.
Correct. So for semaglutide, that's going to be about $400 a month ish. That's going to
Okay.
include the meds. It's going to include the visits. Okay. Your profit margin on that, you'll probably make about 250 ish, something like. That's probably about what you'll make in profit.
Okay.
So you're
Okay.
making a lot more than you're making now
Do you know how much it runs for?
from the compounding pharmacies.
Yeah, or kind of ballpark.
Ballpark, $150.
Really?
Yeah, and then you can mark it up two to 4x.
Okay. Are
Yeah.
most people do you find most people are mixing them with vitamin B? What's the
Yeah, it's usually B12. Kind of helps with the nausea.
B12? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, big deal. Who cares? It's B12, big deal.
Okay.
So, anyways, though, you can have that as one. You have that as a subscription membership based model, and then
Okay.
you could have like a fee for service kind of a model as well, where they just basically pay you for the visits,
Okay.
kind of like what you have now. I think your
Okay.
pricing is reasonable. You're still generating over $100 a month profit per patient, so that's good.
Okay. Okay.
That should be your goal overall with anything that you do. Okay.
Okay.
At least $100 a month profit. You're doing that with the current, with your current rates. And
Mhm.
then you see them and then you provide them a prescription and tell them, listen, your insurance might cover it or it might not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the prescription. Good
Okay.
luck. If they don't cover it, you can come back and I can get it for you at this price. The company.
Okay. Okay. I see.
Yeah. And then just put them on the subscription program.
Okay.
Yeah. So that way, if someone has good insurance and they want to use it,
Yeah.
you can let them use it because some money's better than no money. Like if you
Right.
can still make $100 off a follow-up every couple months off someone and their
Right.
insurance covers semaglutide, cool, great. You're still making
Okay.
some money. If you
Okay.
let them go, you'd make no money. So some money's better than no money.
Okay. Okay. This is good information. I'm glad
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we have thousands of people listening to this every week.
Gosh, yeah, this is so helpful. Yeah. That takes care of some of my fear unknown of that whole thing. Cause that's what I've seen people do. It's like, here's $400 or $500 and that pays for everything. And I've had patients go there and I'm like,
Of course, it's cheaper than what Walgreens is going to charge them. I mean, the cash
Yeah.
rate for this at a retail pharmacy, it's like $1,200 or something. It's
it
insane.
is. And plus Blue Cross Blue Shield of Kansas, which is a huge carrier at my husband's office and even our surgical office, everyone has it. No one can get the medicine. So I'm like, crap, phentermine, everybody's been on phentermine and they're like, eh.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, phentermine works.
sure.
But semaglutide's a hell of a lot better.
You can keep them on it longer.
Right. There's some debate there on long-term phentermine use.
Yeah.
I've read some studies that are pretty convincing, but
Really?
anyways.
Yeah. Curious to.
But I think, if you want to have a robust weight loss clinic, though, you should offer phentermine as well. Like, I really feel like don't pigeonhole yourself for just
Sure.
one thing that you're doing. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Have multiple different things that you can do.
Okay. And I have. I wasn't going to at first, but I've included phentermine. So
If you take the weight loss course, there's 20 meds covered. I would say pick 3 to 4, stick with the 3 to 4, get to know them, understand their mechanism, understand the dosing, understand the follow-up, become an expert at those 4 things, and then just keep it at that,
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. And I have about 4 medications I've just been trying to learn backwards and forwards. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of lab schedule, if that, with some of these. And anyway.
Right.
But,
Yeah. I mean, you'll get in the swing of all this. You'll find your flow. So I think you need to do kind of maybe just a remake of your pricing.
Okay.
I mean, you've only been open for a couple weeks, so like you're
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
just in that infancy stage, okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what I admire about what you're doing is that you opened up, which is more than what most people ever do, and
Hmm.
you're pivoting and you're still building and creating. But you did the most important thing. You actually got started.
Yeah.
So many nurses, nurse practitioners, like they think they need this absolutely perfect plan that's
Hmm.
perfect, 100% complete
Oh,
before they open up their
it's
business. Bullshit. There is no such thing as a
it's
100%
not.
complete business. There's no such thing.
No, you just start going and you learn as you go and you change
Exactly.
things to be changed. And I mean, it is. It's learning as you go for sure.
Exactly. That's
Oh,
exactly what it is. As long as you're not committing fraud and killing patients, you're fine.
exactly.
All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all Elite Nurse Practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and then other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioner sisters and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode. So I would say do that, kind of redo your pricing. Do you have a website yet?
I do. I do.
Okay. So
And
make
I,
sure
and I don't care for it right now.
did you do it
I'm working on it.
yourself or did you have someone else do it?
I had GoDaddy do it and I don't
Uh,
recommend that. I hate them.
yeah. Yeah. Never use like GoDaddy's great for making your own, but never pay them to make it.
Yeah.
They're just outsourcing that shit to someone in India or something, you know?
It's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my recommendation for you, if you got the money for it, if you got a couple $1,000s and you truly want a good looking website, hire a professional. You get what you pay for. If
Yeah.
you pay
I believe that.
$500, you're going to get a $500 website. If you pay $2,000, you're going to get a $2,000 website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to talk to my web developer, Will, is super solid. And he's built hundreds of NPs their website so far. Like he's
Oh, okay.
becoming an expert at it. Yeah. If you go to the Lead MP website and click on practice services, that drop
Okay.
down menu, there's a little website design. Click
Okay.
it, talk to him. He's super good at this. He's built lots of other weight loss clinic websites too.
Good
So
deal.
get a good website, make sure all the prices are updated, all the services that you're doing are updated on it. Okay.
Okay.
I would say get that Google business listing, critically important. And
Okay.
honestly, I'd say at that point, just those few things right there, you're probably going to start getting busier.
Okay.
Now, you're not doing any kind of paid advertising or anything yet, right?
No.
Okay. Let me understand what's your budget just in general for this? Like how much money you want to put into this?
So far I've put in close to 10,000.
Yeah, between 5 to 10,000 typically what it costs to start, start one of these.
Yeah. When you include the laptop that I bought and all the iPad and the liability insurance and my EMR, all that together. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the laptop, a lot of people who are listening to this might already have one. So there you go. That would save you $1,500, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
right. Yeah. And I'm
So-
sure you made some mistakes. You spent money on some things that you probably shouldn't have.
GoDaddy.
Like GoDaddy, right? Exactly. That's kind of part of the process. I couldn't tell
It
you how.
is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know. Do
Maybe-
you find that do people accept payment online for their services when they're doing telemedicine, like
Oh, absolutely.
before they book it?
Okay, yeah. So my recommendation for you is that you have the patients there. There's two ways for them to schedule an appointment with you. They can either
Okay.
book directly through your website, which should
Right.
be pretty simple to do from the calendar from your EMR, right? You just implement it,
Yeah.
you pull it into it, no big deal. If they do that, there really should be a deposit taken because you're going to
Yeah.
get people who are going to schedule appointments and book appointments with you that just waste your time. They don't show up and you spend, you know what I mean? Like you're going to get
Yeah.
people who do that. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So if you require a deposit and the deposit gets put towards the cost of the visit, then it will significantly decrease the amount of no-shows.
Yeah, I've had trouble figuring out how to integrate Square first or my payment method first when they book, how to get it to go to.
There should be an option in your EMR for that, for the booking.
I
Should
can
be.
I can take payment from the patient if I have their credit card number, but then I like them on the other end just to do it without me having to ask.
Right.
That's
What
so
EMR are you using?
Dr. Chrono, do you know anything?
Nah, I'm not really too familiar with that one.
It's been good so far. I mean, it's
Yeah,
been
it works. Go into the scheduling portion of that. Like when you log in there and you get like the code to put on your website for the calendar booking,
right,
online booking,
right.
there
Uh-huh.
should be an option there, or something to require a deposit for people who book online or something. There should be something there.
Oh, okay, I will look at that again,
Yeah.
and I may even call them and just because that would be oh my gosh, yes, that would
No,
be so
no, it's critically important. Yeah. Because I
okay.
know my EMR does that. So you should be able,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you can't with Dr. Kronos and you just like Dr. Kronos and you want to stick with Dr. Kronos, then maybe when you talk to Will and he builds out your website, he should be able to get something set up for you like that.
okay.
You might need a separate calendar, possibly. Well, let me ask you, how much are you paying for Dr. Kronos?
365 a month. I have a 12-month contract with them.
Ah, you signed a contract. Okay. So yeah,
I did.
yeah, well, there you go. Okay, listen, another lesson. Never sign contracts for shit. Ever.
Okay.
Okay. Never lock yourself into something like that. Ever. Okay.
Okay.
Avoid it. Avoid third-party vendors that lock you in for a time frame. Okay. That's always negotiable. You can always get out of it. So
Okay.
you're stuck with them for 12 months. I'm assuming if you leave, you got to pay the whole 12 months or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So you're kind of married to that now. I mean, hell, you've only been using it for what, like a month now?
Hmm. Yeah, well, it's been I'm in it 3 months. I've had it and I've been doing like
Oh,
so yeah, I mean, I've had it for 3 months since November. So I'm already into it. Yeah. So 9 more months.
9 months. Yeah. Still though, I mean, you're looking
Yeah.
at hell, it's going to cost you probably $3,000 to get out of it. But if you like it, I mean, you just make it work for you. Okay. It's not that big of a deal. There should be something that you can do to
Okay.
fix that. Yeah. To
Okay.
integrate something into that. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say just stick with it. Whatever. I mean, if it works, it works.
Real quick, if you switch EMRs, how does your information transfer? That might be a stupid question, but
Most EMR companies will do a migration for you.
okay, migration. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of them will do it for you. They have like some sort of data process where they put an app into it. It just pulls all the data and puts it into your your new EMR. What EMR you use isn't that important.
Okay.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much.
Okay.
If it was up to me, I would still just chart on paper. Like,
I know. That's how I am too. Totally.
yeah, I mean, I still chart on paper at my medical cannabis clinic. I don't see a point in using an EMR. What the hell's the point?
Yeah.
Anyways, do you have any other questions?
Yes. So I took out a policy for 1 million for 6 million. It covers telemedicine. It's occurrence only. I don't know what your suggestions on that are. If there's anything.
Yes. So you got occurrence and claims made. Occurrence is basically going to cover you
Any,
essentially forever.
right. That one
Claims,
just it's more. I don't know. Claim.
yeah.
Yeah. My tail insurance with.
Yeah, claims made. Yeah, exactly. You got to get tail coverage and stuff. The thing with claims made policies, you can typically have a little bit more of a customized policy. Occurrence based is usually more general medical kind of policies. What company did you go through for that?
I went through CM and F.
Yeah, them. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I like CMNF Group. They don't define what it is that you're doing. That's one thing I don't like about them. They basically just state you're covered if you're, prescribing within your scope, essentially. Yeah, I don't like that broad term. I like specifics, but weight loss medication is within the scope of a family nurse practitioner. So that shouldn't be a problem. 1 million, 6 million coverage, that should be fine. I don't know what Kansas's liability limits are. You'll really only need to pay for the limit, of your liability. Like, some states, the max you can sue someone for malpractice is $500,000. So why would you want anything more than that? It's a waste of money.
I did not look at that. I will do that.
Yeah. Have you already paid for the year, or are you paying monthly on that?
Monthly right now. I mean, yeah.
I got you. They should be able to underwrite your policy again and decrease that if that's what the Kansas limits are. I don't know what they are.
Okay.
So yeah, exactly. So just go to Google and type in Kansas malpractice limits, and it'll tell you the numbers. So anyone listening to this and you want malpractice, make sure you look that up in your state first before buying a policy.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's good to know. I did not know that, so I will do that.
There you go. But you should be okay with what you got.
Okay.
I wouldn't stress too much about that.
I'm a PLLC. I don't know if that's what most nurse practitioners.
It's totally state specific. Some states require PLLC, some don't. Most states don't, but a lot of states do though. So it's one of those, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, you have your entity, and that should protect you.
Okay.
Yeah. So you should be okay with that. Don't worry about that. If you expand into other states, then you might want something a little bit more, maybe just a general LLC from like Wyoming, so you can protect your privacy. But this PLLC that you have in Kansas right now, just stick with that. Don't complicate anything right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So any other questions or anything?
Oh, I'm sure I do, but I can't think of anything right now. I'll think of it as soon as I hang up off. Yeah.
Listen, I think you're doing okay. I mean, you've only been open for a few weeks, but
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
said earlier, you got started. So that's what really matters,
Right. Right.
And don't get shiny object syndrome here. Don't complicate stuff. Stay local. Staying local is fine. I don't
Okay.
think you need other licenses in other states. I think that if you can really maximize what it is that you're doing locally, I think you'll be just fine. These little concierge telemedicine weight loss practice, people dig it. And
Yeah.
if your goal is just to make some, side bucks and just just do it a couple days a week, then it doesn't
Yeah.
need to be complicated. You only need a
Okay.
50 to 100 patients and you're making good money.
Okay.
Let's say you have 100 patients. Let's say you have just 100 recurring patients and you're making, $250 a pop on them profit. That's 25,000 a month,
Yeah. Gosh, that is. Yeah.
right? You can
Mhm.
live off that. It's full time.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
right, right. I mean, that's full time money, but you're only working a couple days a week.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the only other thing I was going to ask you is, should I? Because before I talk to you about some of this stuff, I'm like, should I branch out to just some general, sore throats and urinary tract infections? Should I expand this a
No,
little bit? I'm like, oh
no,
god. So that was something I
no.
was going to ask you.
I wouldn't. I don't see a point. This whole
Okay.
alcohol naltrexone thing that you're doing too, I don't think. I
Okay.
think I'd probably just scrap it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't see much of a market for that. And sick visits and stuff, there's just not much of a market for it. Most people's insurance, you can just call the insurance company and there's like a, telemed provider that you can talk to
Yes.
for colds and flus and stuff. There's just not,
Right.
it's not a market for it. You're not going to make any money doing it.
Okay. That answers that. Okay.
Yep.
Well, good. I've got a lot of good information. You were very helpful. I had seen your stuff online. I'm like, this, I had read about, just kind of had looked and then I couldn't remember what website it was again. And I found it again. I'm like, this is such good information. And so that's when I reached out to you. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what we're here for. We're here to help NPs break free from, the rat race. It's kind of what we're doing.
yes, that's exactly what I want to do. And I know
Yeah.
now in Kansas, just as of July, we can function independently. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's
that's pretty
awesome.
exciting. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, yeah. Good for you guys. Well, I'd like to end the episodes with you asking me a question. Do you have like any kind of a personal question or anything for me? I know you kind of discovered Lead NP just recently, so you might not, but
Well, I was going to ask you, your niche practice is men's health. Is that
right.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Boy, I tell you, that is a need out there. Especially with some of my obese men. My gosh.
Yeah, men's health is a great niche. So the most profitable niches out there really for the time that you put into it. Okay. There's a big thing there. Like
Uh-huh.
aesthetics, sure, you can make a lot of money doing aesthetics, but a
Uh-huh.
lot of that you actually have to be there doing the injections and like there's a lot of work
Yes.
involved.
Yes.
But with things like men's health and weight loss, you're only really talking to the patient maybe 15 minutes a month on average, maybe.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
commitment is very, very minimal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so men's health and weight loss are solid niche practices. Hormone replacement therapy
Yeah.
in general is a solid niche practice too. I think that if you're going to integrate any additional service into your practice, you basically just said it. Obese men have low testosterone, so you have another
Oh, yeah. And
marketable.
they never think to ask about that. And as and they're tired. And so I've started to have that conversation with them. It's, hey, you might want to have your family doctor check your testosterone levels. So yeah,
Well, screw that. You check it.
yeah, I
You
I
know,
will.
maybe you should add a hormone panel to all your initial weight loss clients. For men, check testosterone. For women, check testosterone, estrogen, that kind of stuff. Yeah. So that definitely complements a weight loss practice for sure.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
I think you got a good head on your shoulder. I think you got a pretty good plan here. I think you'll be okay. I think if you're patient with it, give it a few months, you should be making some money.
All right. I appreciate your help.
You are very welcome. And if you ever want to do a follow up, just let me know.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah. I'll probably have more questions if you don't mind.
Sure. That's fine.
Okay. All
All right.
right. Thanks, Justin.
All right,
Take care.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hope everyone enjoyed the conversation with Kate. I think she's going to do very well. I think there's two main points here that you need to walk away from. First one is just get started. Just get started. She got started. She created her PLLC or LLC. She got her website up and running. She's starting to see patients, okay? She still has a lot of work to do. She has to change some pricing, change some services she's offering and those sorts of things. But she did the most important thing. She just got started. You don't need to have a perfect plan in place. Just get started. You'll figure it out on the way. And another thing too is staying local can work. Staying local works. If you want to do telemedicine, you can open up a telemedicine practice and be successful in just one state and in just one area, okay? You don't need to complicate it, and you don't need to be in multiple states unless you have the time for it and you really, really want to grow this thing very, very large and have lots and lots of patients, okay? But for a little side hustle, it's really not necessary. Staying local is more than enough. And honestly, it's probably more than enough for a full-time practice too, if you gave it some time. All right, hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to the show. Quick legal disclaimer. The content of this podcast is meant for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be used as legal, financial, medical, regulatory, or practice-specific advice. For information pertaining to your specific legal, financial, medical, or practice-specific needs, please be sure to consult with your lawyer, CPA, medical director, and or your state's practice laws and the most up-to-date clinical guidelines. As always, do your due diligence when it comes to any information found online and in podcasts. The content in this podcast is copyrighted by Galaxy Medical Southwest 2023 and cannot be duplicated, rebroadcasted, or reproduced without our written permission.